my dear audiences. Hello, my dear audiences. Welcome back to today's Naked News content. I would like to say something about Chinese single population problems now. Actually, it's getting really serious at the moment. In the past, Chinese young people are always laughing at South Korean people's low birth rate. We're always like, oh my god, Chinese people are much stronger because South Korean people cannot have babies. And now we begin to laugh at ourselves. So how did that happen? Because China's low birth rate is approaching Koreans. And some of the researchers said maybe in about 5 to 10 years, the population of single people in China would reach 0.2 billion or even a bit more, depends on the economy and also the big environment. So 0.2 billion people are single. What does that mean? It means if we take US people out of their land and send Chinese single population to the US land, the population would be big enough to select this coming president and make the great world. So we never got rich, but we get old very quickly. So how did that happen? The first one is the economy problems. Because in China, you have to know it is a country that is seriously depending on foreigners' investment. Without foreign investment or capitals, it is impossible for a Chinese economy to survive. And currently, because of the ideology problems, politics, and also the bad intentions over Taiwan, Japan, South Korea, and any other US and their alliance countries, the world, especially developing countries, especially developed countries, are all began to get afraid of China because the China government is trying to change the world's order built by US people. So many foreigners and their companies, factories are leaving China. If all of the companies and factories from foreigners all leave, it means that at least half of the population in China would be unemployed, which is quite serious. Though people in big cities, they just don't feel it, but for people who are living in smaller cities or small towns, they're already losing their jobs. So if a person has serious problems when it comes to his own survival, I don't think marriage or having kids would be their first thing. The second is that because some of the young people will also start to accept Western culture. Getting married is a good thing, but without the right person or without the willing to do so, if you don't have the desire, then you will not do that. Nowadays, many young people in China also begin to get married or start their relationship at very late age. And some people choose to be single forever without having any partners in their life, which is getting quite common, especially in Beijing and Shanghai. So we do not have to stay so traditional to prove that we are a valuable person through our marriage. So because of these two reasons, nobody is getting married. And, of course, the low birth rate is almost affecting our government's income every day. In our primary school and kindergarten, many of these are trying to merge and many of these just disappeared. And last but not least, one of the huge problems in China is that it is extremely expensive to have a kid. I guess it's around top two. The first is South Korea and the second is China. So first is that if a person is having a baby, the government would not give them free vacation. They have to take care of the kids by themselves. And because in the company, the entrepreneurs, they have to shoulder all the cost and the time when their staff is away for their pregnancy and newborn babies, which could be a huge cost and also quite risky because some people, they can just take the salary, have their vacation and leave immediately. The government does not give us any social welfare to protect our time and our finance. That's why it is really difficult to have babies in China. And when it comes to kindergarten or primary school and middle school time, they said compulsory education is free, but actually when kids really enter the school, they still have to pay a lot of things. Like they pay for the meal, quite expensive. They pay for the textbooks, even if they don't want to. And sometimes the tutorial lessons is also a must. They have to pay everything. So having a kid in China costs a lot. Okay, that's all for my sharing for today. Hope you guys understand, and please be looking forward to seeing our next video.